Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I record this on November 19th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. News says that Donald Trump has signed the bill into law requiring the Justice Department to release the Epstein Files in the next 30 days. Now, Pam Bondi said she will release the files that she is legally required to release, which is a very specific set of words and phrasing. So we'll see how this pans out. There were some concerns that Trump would pocket veto the files. Basically, if he didn't sign this bill in 10 days and Congress was out of session, then the bill would just die. It'd be in purgatory type of thing, and nothing would happen with it. But he has signed it. It is now going into effect, and Pam Bondi has 30 days to release the files here. And so that would put you on to December 19th is when that 30 days is up. So let's look at the energy of this, because it seems unlikely that Trump would do this unless he has some backup plan going on. Now, there was a audio file that's been making the rounds. Some people say it's AI. Other people say it's somebody doing a Trump imitation on it. There's on TikTok, I actually had a file that was running an AI algorithm on it saying that this doesn't appear to be AI. I'll play the audio file for you now. There is some swearing in it. My apologies. But this is purportedly Donald Trump raging about the Epstein Files. And he basically says something to the tune of, "Don't release the Epstein Files. F. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't let those files out. If they go out, I'm taking all of you down with me." It goes something like that, okay? Here, I'm going to play it now.
Not releasing the Epstein Files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
Okay, I'll play it one more time when it comes up here, just so you have one more time.
Not releasing the Epstein Files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
So we got that to look forward to. Whether it's AI or not, it sounds like Donald Trump. Not only the voice, but the rage, the kind of things he would say, and it's sort of like, the threatening. If I go down, I'll take you all down with me. That seems really on brand for this gentleman. I use that term lightly. Let's look at the energy around Donald Trump now that he has signed this bill and these files will be released. This is for entertainment purposes only. My deck is upside down. Foundation, Four of Cups. He was talked into this. He absolutely did not want to do it. And I think they had all sorts of plans to delay things and do things. Mike Johnson kept Congress out for like 2 months. And then he was expecting the House or the Senate, the House to delay things on this one. Come up with changes on it. He wanted the Senate to have to go back and forth with the House making changes on it. But the Senate just went ahead and voted it through, and it went to Trump's desk. And now he's sitting there like a sullen child, not wanting to deal with this. Crossed with the Temperance. I had this card come up the other day when I read on this. It was basically, part of it might be, let's just get this thing out here, and then Trump can work his magic and say, declare total victory. You know what I mean? Kind of like what he did with the Mueller report and anything else we thought was going to take him down. Declare victory, uh, tell people to look somewhere else, get it out there, and then distract, distract, distract. But I think this card came my reading the other day. I think this is the DOJ's attempt to scrub things from these files to protect Trump. Basically, it's I don't want to do this, and it's kind of like, don't worry, we've got a plan in place. And then underneath it all is the Nine of Coins. Nine of Coins is about wealth and appreciating what you have. This could be a wealthy woman that's helping out with this. Oh, Maxwell. This is probably Ms. Maxwell. Underneath, he's got Ms. Maxwell willing to testify in front of Congress that Donald Trump never did anything wrong ever in his entire life. And I think they're trying to convince him that they've scrubbed the records. They already have one of the co-conspirators in here saying Donald did nothing, so Trump is protected. That's, I think, the narrative they're trying to build here. In the past, the Three of Swords. Donald Trump feels absolutely betrayed by Mike Johnson and the House Republicans and Mr. Thune and the Senate Republicans. They didn't back him up. Just like that audio clip I just played on my phone where he doesn't want those Epstein files released. Start a war, do whatever you have to do. Marjorie Taylor Greene betrayed him. If he goes down, he's taking everybody down with him. And this is what drives that, because this is that betrayal card. Insufficiently loyal. Current situation is the Three of Coins. Maybe by releasing the files, you've got 30 days for other things to happen to steal the news cycle. But it's like there's like a plan in place. This is either let's just have this topic go dark and we can come up with something new to discuss, or this gives Trump and his team time to strategize, staying in front of whatever may be released. And it also could be keeping information secret. That's kind of the current deal here. Overarching energy is the Page of Cups. He has to keep MAGA, and it's like the QAnon faction of MAGA, on board, because he's lost support of the Senate and the House. So he's only got one power base left, and that's MAGA. If you don't release the files, you don't keep these folks as your power base. So now he has to rely on his ability to hoodwink that group of people who have shown to be very willing to be hoodwinked by Donald Trump. Lesson to be learned is the Wheel of Fortune. These files were going to come out. This is like on his life path. This is like on our country's life path. These files are going to come out. And they've been delaying these files coming out for a while now. And I have said more than once that the longer they delay, the worse they're going to make this for themselves. And I think we are about to find out how worse can be because of this. Inevitable that these things were coming out. Now let's see what happens next. And interestingly enough, now is the Two of Wands as the outcome. Getting prepared for what comes next. When I did this reading the other day, I was wondering if that was Trump making his plans for what he's going to do for the rest of his life. Type of thing. And it really depends on what happens with this group. The files are out there. They're going to be released. There's going to be questions. There's going to be revelations. We know Trump is in them. And things, even stuff that the Epstein estate has released has cast doubt on several stories that Trump has stated, as well as Ms. Maxwell. Contradicted her testimony to Todd Blanche. Contradicted Trump's mythology. He said he kicked out Epstein because he was a creep. Yet after that, apparently he had Thanksgiving with Epstein, allegedly after he had kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and didn't deal with him anymore because he was a horrible person. I don't know about you. I don't typically have Thanksgiving with sex traffickers or pedophiles. Not a thing with me. Okay, so that's kind of the deal that's going on here. How will the Department of Justice try and protect Trump? Again, when I thrown on this one, it looked like Pam Bondi was going to be scapegoated. She was going to be losing her job, losing her law license. She was going to be the sacrificial lamb. How is the DOJ going to protect Donald Trump? There's that 9 of coins. That was the card I had as the card underneath. I think we're back to Ms. Maxwell again here. How is the DOJ going to help Trump? They're going to have Maxwell helping them. Yeah, talking about they have to hide money. First off, the first thing they have to do is they have to kind of figure out a way to hide the financial transactions with Trump, and that might be really, really hard to do. I think they're going to rely on Ms. Maxwell's testimony that she says Donald Trump never did anything. I think we're back down to that. The thing, though, is with Ms. Maxwell, they're going to run into a problem. And the problem is that Maureen Comey knows this case like the back of her hand. So they can ask her questions and Ms. Maxwell can give testimony, but what they're worried about is they are not quite sure what she's going to say and what's going to happen as a consequence of her testimony, because there's a bunch of evidence out there that they have to corroborate. And she's already a known perjurer, so she's not necessarily going to be easily believed. Much in the same way that Trump went after Michael Cohen for those fraud cases. They attacked Michael Cohen's credibility because he had committed perjury. It just so happens is that not only did they have Michael Cohen, but they had a bunch of other witnesses to testify and all sorts of evidence to corroborate their story. What's going to happen with Trump is he's going to have somebody testifying him who doesn't have this to back it up. And that's going to be a problem. The Four Swords. It's a retreat. There's a retreat going on here. They can't. I know they're talking about setting her free because if she upholds her end of it, but they can't do it right away. Yeah, it just looks like the Department of Justice is going to rely on that testimony to try. It's like they'll have to create documents that are very cut and edited to be very specific, and then hope nobody checks the footnotes or checks the references or double checks any of the information on it. It's kind of like that. This isn't going to work because this is going to be a case that's scrutinized. And again, as I mentioned with Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, who's a federal prosecutor who prosecuted Maxwell and Epstein, she knows the data. She knows it back and forth. She knows that evidence. And there'll be a lot of pushback. What about the FBI? How is the FBI going to protect Donald Trump now that he has signed the Epstein Files? How is Kash Patel going to protect Donald Trump? Knight of Wands. I think he's going to do what he's told. Slow investigations, but I think there's a plan that's in place, probably with the DOJ, that is going to be coordinated. 3 of Cups, 9 of Swords, the Star card, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, yeah. I think that, again, if the DOJ says we have further investigations against certain people, he has to do those investigations and do them slowly because you don't want information coming out too fast. The burden, it's going to be a huge burden on Kash Patel and the FBI to try and pull this off. And he's stressing out because he hasn't really done anything wrong at this point, but they are dragging him into the conspiracy, and he knows it. He's been on Team Trump. You know, you got Trump and the DOJ and the FBI all working together. He has enjoyed his time as the FBI director, but he's really worried that his star may be falling. He might be able to land this. He may fall flat on his face. There is a lot of... He's the weak link right now. To me, Kash Patel is the weak link right now. They can get angry. They can, yell at senators on the oversight committees, but Kash Patel is under a lot of stress right now because, again, I don't think he really had much legal exposure, and I think he does now, and I think he knows it. Will Kash Patel and or Pam Bondi face legal consequences for their support of Donald Trump? How about Kash Patel, and then we'll do Pam Bondi over here. Kash Patel, and then Pam Bondi. No, might have them reversed. Okay. These two have an agreement together. They're going to go down together. Kash Patel may resign his position. I said the same thing about Pam Bondi. That's what I was saying. I think I got the cards reversed. I saw Pam Bondi being scapegoated. This is the Six of Swords, moving from choppy waters to calmer shores, trying to get away from the problem. You got the celebrating. You've got like special counsel investigations in a foolish journey, or a new journey going on. I think that for Kash Patel, he might... This might be one of those instances where somebody bails his butt out and announces a special prosecutor to look into this. That reports into the DOJ. And now, so Kash Patel, who had this card about it, now, special prosecutor, and then maybe he resigns or something along those lines. But I think the FBI might want a special prosecutor coming in and leading this investigation. Now for Pam Bondi, what we've got is now she's got to carry forward the plan. And the loyalty factor with Trump is not there. And it's going to cause her... It's like she's going to be the one left holding the bag. That's kind of what I get with this. I think Kash Patel is going to take his bug eyes and bug out. Funny how that works. She, on the other hand, with the daddy issues, is going to stick it out. And she's going to pay a price for that. With at least losing her law license. Will either of these people, will Kash Patel or will Pam Bondi, go to prison? I'm not going to go to jail. They will go to prison if they're part of this cover-up. Will they go to prison? I think that's the thing with Patel. He's afraid of going to prison. He doesn't want. He's going to punt. He is going to jettison before that happens. Will Kash Patel go to prison over this? Heartbreak and betrayal. Hangman. Somebody's going to be hung out to dry. If I read it on both of them, somebody's going to be betrayed. They were fighting the good fight, but they got tossed under the bus by the government. Will Kash Patel go to prison? How about Pam Bondi? Ace of Swords, High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Cups, and underneath is the Four. Patel, it's like they're going to try, it's like If he resigns, oh, got it. Patel resigns, and then he spills his guts because it's his only fighting chance. He turns, Patel turns and becomes government informant, trying to protect himself. He becomes a stool pigeon, and then that means that this whole cover up now falls on Pam Bondi's lap. And she knows what's going on. She was the one in charge. She had all the information, and she can't deny it. This goes back to that. Again, the Senate Oversight Committee with Senator Whitehouse when they're asking her questions, and she said, "Go talk to the FBI director." And Sheldon Whitehouse said, "I did, and he told me to talk to you." And they're playing this shell game. Well, she's the one in charge. FBI director reports into her. The buck stops here. The FBI director can be held responsible for things, but so too shall his boss, because his boss should have known. Meanwhile, MBS is in the White House and smirking at questions regarding dismembering journalists and things along those lines. Isn't it how coincidental that the Crown Prince for Saudi Arabia is in the White House cutting business deals with Trump when the Epstein file vote comes up and over there? Does the Crown Prince, MBS, and Donald Trump, do they have a wink and a nod plan agreement between the two of them regarding Donald's potential near future and living arrangements? In other words, do they have a plan to help Donald out here? Ace of Wands, that is the beginning of a plan, an opportunity, crossed with the Page of Cups. It's an unusual one. It's something different. A little bit of thinking out of the box. It's kind of a rotten plan. Underneath it all is the Lover's card. Yeah, there's a bond between these two people. And there's a big opportunity here for them. It involves leaving, fleeing the country. It involves money, holding on to secrets, holding on to information. So I think that what this is this could either be MBS goes overseas and secure. It's like, or he's come from overseas. They're securing deals, securing money. Trump forcing things through, jamming things through in Saudi Arabia's benefit. And then Saudi Arabia goes up to bat for them. The lesson we learned is temperance. It's a plan that's coming together. This plan is coalescing. Outcome is the Strength card. I really do think they've got something going on here. We've got a couple of interesting major arcana. The Strength card's always an interesting one. Hush, it's a quiet piggy type of thing here. If Donald Trump is healthy enough to go, he would go. That'll be the only caveat, really, the only fly in the ointment if he's going across. But this is really MBS showing strength and mastery over Trump. He's got Trump right where he wants him, and he's leveraging the hell out of him. Apparently, we're selling them several billions and billions of dollars of military equipment, including, I believe, F-35s. Our sixth generation stealth fighter jets. What he plans on doing with that is anybody's guess. How about a four-carder just for gossipy fun? What does MBS actually think of Donald Trump as he looks at him in this situation? I have an idea. And the idea spurs from the kind of sociopathic viewpoint. This would be like um, holding a mouse above by its tail above a bucket that's filled with scorpions. That's kind of the visual I get. He's got Trump by the short hairs, and he could drop him in that little pit of scorpions whenever he wants. Got him right exactly where I want him. How well will you squeak for me? Death card. End of a new day, beginning of something new here. Funny, because I'm talking about holding a mouse above scorpions, which would imply death. Winner takes all. No compromise. Secrets. Having control over the situation. It's an opportunity and an absolute betrayal. He doesn't trust Trump, but in this case, there's no reason for him to trust Trump because he's holding the cards. He controls Trump. And he wants U.S. intelligence, too. Not only with the military stuff, but he wants intelligence. He's got him right where he wants him. MBS knows exactly what he's doing. He's opportunistic. He's ruthless. And he's cruel. Heartless. He would... MBS is the kind of guy that would kill his parents if it served him. And he wouldn't think twice about it. There's no love for Donald Trump. There's no loyalty to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a tool. And Trump will never understand that. Trump would do it to anybody else, but he wants loyalty from everyone. He's got no loyalty for MBS because, in Trump's own words, MBS holds all the cards. Things are going to get worse for Donald Trump, and things are going to get interesting. And I don't like that, but things are going to get interesting. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.